welcome to another episode of Tuesday Tales with Helen Harwood Snell. I'm an expert storyteller, certified communication coach, and I have this curiosity that is fed all by learning about people. So I use story to empower entrepreneurs with their conversion content for everything from emails to published books. And each week I introduce to you a new guest. We dig into a little bit of who they are as a person, what it is that they do in the world to help you as an entrepreneur. And then I ask them to share a story that I will turn into a business story that they can use. And this is all my way of illustrating to you the power of story and how you can use that in your business so easily. So my guest today is Adrian Newman. He has over 25 years experience with digital marketing in every aspect, from graphic design to database management. Those things could not be more opposite in my books. His most recent venture was to help launch Numero Uno Web Solutions, that's Numero Uno, in 2012, and he's been actively leading the company now since 2017. So he brings an entrepreneurial spirit with targeted action mindset to his work in this boutique firm to help small to mid-sized businesses find their success online. And I know we're going to discuss terms today about things I don't know, like AEO and GEO. So if you want to learn more about high converting websites, stay tuned. Welcome to the platform, Adrian.
Hey, Colin. Glad to be here.
Yeah, great to have you on board. I spend a lot of time online, but I will be the first to admit that I don't know a lot of the things, including even how to run this platform that I'm on here. So it'll be great to have some expertise from you. I always love to start a little bit about who you are as a person. So tell me about Adrian. What do you like to do for fun when you're not building websites and converting client content?
Well, so I am a dad. I have two kids, 20, and that's my daughter. My son's about to turn 19 in a few weeks. My daughter is a pastry chef, and my son is just starting at Humber taking sports management when he's not working as an usher at the Rogers Centre at Toronto Blue Jay games. So for fun, really, I'm a avid golfer. Unfortunately, this year kind of got derailed for me. I wound up tearing both of my quad tendons at the same time when I slipped down my stairs back in March. So it's kind of held back my golf game a little bit. But next year I plan on getting out a lot more.
You probably missed a good year not to golf because it was so hot all summer.
Yeah, I did get I have been out. I just never go out a lot. But I do enjoy. Like I love camping. My son and I do a canoe trip every year. Once again, that had to be canceled this year, but next year I look forward to it. I like to read. I have a dog. I love to walk my dog and spend time with my dog. So really, awesome. I'm a low maintenance guy.
That's all good, and I'm sure that shows up in your low maintenance websites as well.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So what's a bucket list item for you?
Bucket list, travel. So I do enjoy travel. I've always wanted to go to Japan. My dad went last year, and he said, and I have friends who went as well. So really, traveling has been a bucket list for me of bucket list items. So especially love to try Japan.
Excellent. So tell me, out of all of those things, what are 2 or 3 of your core values? How do you show up in the world?
How do I show up in the world? Well, I think authenticity. I think when you talk to me, what you see is what you get. I'm a very, rightly or wrongly, or for better or for worse, I guess. Sometimes I say things that are blunt and truthful, and it sometimes I've learned as I've gotten older how to kind of soften the blow, I guess would be the best way. I value a sense of humor. I tried comedy when I was younger, and I still, like to use a quick wit sometimes and tell funny stories. And I do appreciate humor and the lighter side of things, especially when you are in a world where things aren't always so light. And I guess lately since I had my accident, I guess it's really focusing a lot on what the important things are. I didn't
Mm.
realize how important quad tendons are, or how important it was to be able to walk and learn how to walk again, and everything else. And of course, the value of friendship and companionship. I had a lot of support system that I never thought about before, with regards to family and friends, that
Mhm.
really kind of showed up when I had that accident. I was immobilized for 7 weeks. I basically didn't move out of bed for 7 weeks because my
Oh
legs
my
were
goodness.
completely in splints. So
Yeah.
yeah, so
Wow.
I guess value of family and friends.
Yeah. Fantastic. So share a little bit now with the audience about what you do in your business at
Mhm.
Numero Uno.
So we help small to mid-sized businesses essentially with their entire digital marketing strategy, whether it's creating a brand new website or updating a current website, to their social media, and search engine optimization, getting more people to the website using different strategies, mostly based upon content, because content is king. And as you mentioned earlier about AEO and GEO, trying to really optimize this new world of AI, and helping you know get the right people to your site that are more likely to do what you want them to do, whether it's to buy a product or to subscribe to something or to become a lead, opt in for something, so that way you get that lead. So really, that's what really we've been doing for the past 13 and a half years.
Yeah. And so tell me a little bit more about your experience in that area. How do you figure out, I'm sure there's all sorts of different segments of business that you represent. So, somebody who's a plumber, somebody who's a life coach, how
Mhm.
do you figure out those things for them in terms of content strategy, how to bring people to their website, how to keep people on their website? What does that look like for you?
Well, the first thing is the ideal customer profile, right? Finding out exactly who they want to their site. And that's the most important part, because you could have people usually will think, hey, I want to rank, for example, for toilet repair, using the plumber example. But really, do they want commercial toilet repair? Do they want residential? Are they doing a full? Are they just going in to do a small fix? Or are they doing a big fix? Are they doing it in Toronto, or are they doing it in Ottawa, or are they doing it in Vancouver or Saskatoon? Are they looking to do, maybe they don't do condos or high rises, they only do residential homes. So that's
Mhm.
so it's basically finding out first what their ideal customer profile is, and then working backwards from that. How can we get them? Doing a lot of research of competition, doing a lot of research on customer intent. What are we seeing? Are people looking for, to buy a certain product? Are people looking to get information? Are people looking for navigation? Like, I want to find out where to go versus, what to buy. So there's the four intent, right? There's information, transaction, navigation, and commercial intent. So we got to figure that out first. And then what we do is we help put together a content strategy plan, right? So whether it's blog posts, social media posts, static pages, website redesign, to make sure that everything holistically comes together. So that way, when somebody does ask either their phone through voice search, or look on Search GPT, or just look in straight Google, that they're coming up for that specific keyword. And we want to make sure that it's ultra specific, so that way they're getting the right people to their site at the right time.
Yeah. And I want to ask you in terms of social media and blogging. I mean, social media has lots of different channels.
Mhm.
Is part of your ideal customer profile, do you provide the information to your customers about where they would find their customers on social media? Like, for example, TikTok as opposed to Instagram or Facebook? Is that some kind of
Mhm.
research and knowledge that you actually help guide your customers towards when they're working with you?
Yeah, and not only that, because sometimes some some channels just are not geared towards some companies. But
Yes.
it's not so much that, it's how to curate the right content to the right channel. So you can create a short video, and let's say it's 45 seconds long, and you can post that same video in theory to LinkedIn, to TikTok, to Instagram, to YouTube, to Facebook, or just do 5 real quick ones. But what you need to do is to do some tailoring to it. So what you are going to post to LinkedIn might be a little bit different than what you're going to post to TikTok, than be what you post to Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So you have to adjust that. So it's not so much channel, because I want to say that most of the channels these days will work for most of the businesses. Obviously, there's some things that you might not do, but it's the actual content itself has to be tailored to that channel, right? And
Okay.
I always look at it like TV and radio, right? You can't just sit there and say, look at this beautiful, lawn and flower garden that we built here on a radio channel, but you could say
Yes.
TV. But so you have to just change it a little bit.
So that's a tip then for people listening to this, is your video itself might be able to be the same. You don't have to recreate the wheel for every platform, but it's the verbiage, it's the hashtags, the things like that go along with that video.
Yeah, the graphics
to the platform.
Yeah, the background music, how you're cutting the video. So, TikTok, you might be doing some quick cuts or something like that. Instagram, you might have a certain background music on it, different kind of graphics as well. So, LinkedIn might just be straight video, no music. It depends on like I said, depends on the channel and depends on the customer.
Great. And what are you finding now about AI? How is that changing social media? How is it changing? I think probably my most curious question would be website SEO.
Yeah. So what we found really great for us is that the content that we were writing years ago for our clients is now shining with AI, with answer engine optimization, AEO, or generative engine optimization, GEO. Because when you write content that is geared towards not the Google algorithm, which people were doing before, going for keywords, trying to get as many keywords in there as possible, and writing for that, versus writing for the user, writing for customer intent. So that kind of content is now, like I said, that we've been writing for years, is now becoming effective in AI because you're writing to answer questions. FAQ pages are so important, right? Because that tells everybody that comes to your site pretty much everything that they need to know. And remember, it's not just humans that are coming to your site; it's the bots, it's Google crawling, it's AI. So they're taking that information as well. And if it's written well, and if it's informative, and if it's written with humanity, it's going to show up on the AI results and on Google.
Okay, so it is more than search words. Then
It's definitely more than search words. Yes. Yeah. Ranking for, ranking for just a single word now isn't going to do anything for you. Like there's still companies out there that I want to rank for one word, this specific word. I want to be the top of this specific word, and there's no point in it. You need to be ultra specific with long tail questions. Where can I buy, the best croissant in Woodbridge, Ontario?
Yeah,
Stuff like that. Yeah. That's more than just croissants, or even croissants Woodbridge, because that's not what's coming through anymore. And when people are using their phones, right, and they're just talking,
yes,
they're not just going croissants Woodbridge. Right?
Yeah.
Saying, hey, point. Where can I get a good croissant and espresso within 15 minutes of here?
Yeah.
Right, and that's local SEO too. So making sure your Google business profiles, optimized and up to date, so you're on the map pack. So that way, when it says 15 minutes from here, and you're in your car, Google knows where you are. They know what's in the area, and then it'll show up. You'll show up there on the map pack.
Yeah. So that's a good question. You mentioned Google. Is that something that you work with clients on as well? Is there Google profile, making sure that they've got their geo information, all that kind of stuff. That's part
Oh,
of the work that you
yeah.
do as
Yep.
well. Yeah.
Yeah, we make sure that their name address is always consistent across their website, their Google business page. We encourage and try to help them with strategies to get more reviews, because that's really important. Reputation is so important. Google has what's called EEAT: expertise, experience, authoritativeness, and trust, and that's all a part of it. And then adding in things on the Google profile. If you're promoting a specific product, if you've done something in your location, if you're open on a holiday, that all has to be there.
Yeah. And is there a strategy that links a Google profile to a website in any way or vice versa?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So on a Google profile, you can have a click to a website. You can also have a call to action where it's going to be click to book an appointment, click a consultation, click to call, which everybody uses
Yeah.
nowadays. So which that's what's called now zero click searches. So some people don't even go to websites anymore. They find a
Yeah.
place and then they just click to call and say, "Hey, do you have any croissants left at your bakery?" Yeah, we got 3. I'm coming over. Put them in a box for me. Something like that. They never even go to the website, and that's fine.
Yes. Yeah. And so that brings up another question because I wanted to mention that when you brought up blogs earlier,
Mhm.
there's a lot of people that think, newsletters and blogging are a thing of the past. And there's a lot of people now who would say, hey, maybe you only need a one page landing page for a website. Can you speak to that? What's kind of still working in those fields? What's not
Mhm.
working?
No, the more content you have on the website, the better. As long as it's relevant content.
Yeah.
Blogging is not dead. Blogging is still important because you also want to be current. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're putting content on your website that is current. If you're talking about, like, for example, if you are a landscaping company and you do snow removal, you want to start talking about snow removal. What do you need to know about snow removal in 2026? What's the difference between using salt and other snow melters? When should you book your commercial snow removal service? So that's
Yeah.
always important to have content and blogging, which you can then repurpose as a video on YouTube. You can repurpose
Hmm.
carousel on Instagram. You could do all this great stuff with one 700 word blog, and
Yeah.
it'll do wonders. Landing pages are great too. I like using landing pages for Google Ads for paid media because that means you only have one page that's specifically designed to do one thing, which is to get somebody either to click something, to enroll, to subscribe, to buy, to book an appointment, whatever it is. Those are great too, but they are no replacement for a full business website.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. And I totally agree with you on your comments about blogging because I think um, if nothing else, you're getting all of your thoughts down on paper and it's going to give you all of that other content for social media and video and everything
Mhm.
else, right? And
Mhm.
I think the same goes for companies putting out newsletters. A lot of people say, people don't want newsletters, their inbox is full in their email. I actually totally disagree because I think that's already a customer who's interested in what you have, right? It's way easier than
Mhm.
trying to find somebody, and so I think using those kinds of resources are still really important.
Yep.
Um, and yeah, so tell me a bit about your path getting to where you are now with all of this digital marketing strategy, opening numero uno
Mhm.
back. I guess that's like 20, no,
12.
not 20 years, 10 years ago, 12 years ago.
Yep.
Um, what was your kind of path leading into that? Have you been in social media marketing, digital marketing your whole experience?
So no. So I started with our parent company back in 1997 as a copywriter. So we were doing direct mail advertising. We're the largest at the time, the largest independent financial publishing company in the country. We're doing direct mail financial advice, and we grew that. We started actually a health publishing company out of that. So we realized that back in the days of direct mail, people would rent our mailing lists. We noticed that health publications were renting our financial names, so we started our own health publishing business. We noticed supplement companies, people who were doing nutritional supplements for various ailments, joint health, bladder control, were renting our names. We started a supplement company. As we grew, That business, we actually bought a fulfillment center. I went over there, became the database manager at that place, which is, kind of it was a little bit of a departure from what I was doing before because I was doing copywriting and creative and graphic design.
Mhm.
And then when I came back, we started with the digital side. We realized we needed to get a digital department. We needed to get online for our newsletter subscriptions and the supplement company. So we built a department to do that. And then we decided in 2012, let's incorporate this as its own company and start offering it to small, mid-sized businesses in the area. And that's what we did. And that's where Numero Uno came into being. And it's been that way ever since now for almost, it'll be 14 years in January.
Mm. And are the other branches of your initial company still operating? All
Yep,
the publishing and the health and supplements
the
and
supplement company is still going. The health publishing company is not around anymore. The financial publishing company is still going. We've
excellent.
also we have the fulfillment center we have is now in Florida. So we have a fulfillment center in Florida, and we have our own call center as well. So we turned our customer service department for the publishing company into a standalone call center that was even doing work for our competitors at the time. And actually, that competitor is still a client of ours. So we're doing that as well. So there's a lot of irons in the fire, and I've kind of been involved in all of them in one way or another.
And you do all things well, obviously, if they're all still going. So that's great. Congratulations on that.
Depends on the day. Thank you.
Yes, I can relate to that. And I have to ask too, just because you have the capacity for creation as a copywriter, and I believe when I was looking at your profile, I think you even did some graphic design work and things like that back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
To running a fulfillment center and data management and those kinds of things. How would you actually kind of describe the capacity of your mind? Like, do you feel like you're pretty equally balanced, right brain, left brain kind of guy?
Oh, I don't know. I'll like sometimes. So, like when I was doing the fulfillment center, it was hard work. It was really hard work, and that's when I realized that that's just not my game. But you know what, it was an opportunity that came up, and I said, yeah, I'll take it, because at that time, and pretty much still, I'll take any opportunity that comes my way to give it a try. I realized though that the effort I had to put into it was a lot more than the effort that I had to put into, for example, design, copywriting, creative, everything like that. So
Yes.
yeah, I don't think I'm equally balanced at all. I think
But you're not someone who shies away from opportunity or learning, applying yourself to new things.
I think the best way to describe it is I like to cook. I do enjoy cooking. I took a cooking class, which I enjoyed immensely. So if I had to cook something, I would do great at it. If I had to bake something, I would struggle, and I really have to put more effort into it. I think baking science and cooking is an art.
Yes. Well said. I would agree. I had all three of my kids actually at some point dabbled in, do I want to be a chef? Do I want to be a baker? None of them have pursued it. So
well, my daughter's a pastry chef. She's wonderful at that. And when she decided to do that, it was something that was perfect for her because of her mind. She's
very scientific.
Yeah.
Excellent. So is there anything else that you would like to share about your business that we didn't touch on? I know we hit on some of those weird new terminologies that I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about, I think, such an important thing about your work that probably makes you stand out amongst other competitors is that, you have this perspective of thinking like your client's customer. What they're saying when they're talking to Siri on their phone, or how they're typing things, into chat, SEO, that kind of thing. So is there anything else that I've kind of missed that you would like to highlight about what you guys do?
And I think that's a good point, and that's something I learned when I was as a copywriter, is to think like a customer. Think always like your audience. I was in a lot of the books that I used to read, about copywriting from Eugene Schwartz and David Ogilvy, and learning that like you have to think like a customer, because you sometimes are so involved in all the minutia of your business, and you're like, oh, this product is great and it's great for everybody and everything like that. But if you're not actually thinking like the customer, you're going to throw this wide net out, and you might not get any response. But if you start hitting the pain points, remember, businesses solve problems. That's really the gist of it. If running a business, you're solving a problem, and it could be something as small as, I need my lawn cut, so I'm going to hire a gardener to do it, or I might be embarrassed by my front lawn, and so I'm going to hire a gardener, versus something really big. I need to take a break, so I'm going to go on vacation and I'm going to book a flight somewhere. So it's all about problem solving, and it's all about problem solving from the point of view of the person with the problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because and again, you made a really good point there, right? You could hire somebody to cut your lawn, and it could be a kid down the street who charges, $25
Mhm.
after school, or
Yep.
it could be a professional landscaping company who looks after weed control and
Yep.
maintaining your garden beds and all of those kinds of things. And the same with a trip, right? Like, do you want to take a quick flight somewhere and you don't really care where you land, or do you want to have a full family, you know,
Mhm.
never to be duplicated experience traveling to Africa or something like that, right? That is part of knowing what your customer is also looking for, is whatever that service, whatever that experience might be.
Mhm.
There's different price points, there's different ways that you
Yep.
offer services, and so knowing what it is that they're Googling or or looking for certainly is important to how you present what it is that you're offering. So I think that's a great tip that anybody could learn from listening to this call about websites, even if you're trying to think about the language for
Yeah.
your own. So I appreciate that. So now I'd love to take this opportunity in the last few minutes of the show to actually just demonstrate to the audience how storytelling can make such a difference to how we show up on social media. If you're introducing yourself at a networking event, if you're making a presentation somewhere. And so I'd love to ask you to share a story, something that pops into your head, not related to your business. It could be a childhood memory. It could be something that happened to you, like tearing your muscles.
Mhm.
Any story that you want to share, and I'm going to take the information that we've shared about what you do in your work and turn that into a business story that you could use.
Well, we could like I said, the quad tear was the worst thing that happened to me. I had never had surgery before in my life. So when I slipped down my basement stairs, and I thought I broke my leg originally, but then of course I couldn't. I stood up for a second and then completely collapsed because my quad muscles were no longer connected. And then had to get the paramedics to come up and then take me to the hospital. And luckily, a friend of mine who's a physician was able to get me quickly into surgery. It was like 36 hours later, even, and then a week hospital stay, and then in traction, like I said, in completely immobile for 7 weeks, and then learning how to walk again was one of the biggest things of my life. Even though it just, I said, just happened in March, so it's only been 6 months ago. But
Yeah.
yeah, like that to me was something that was very memorable. It's basically defined my entire year. That's for sure.
Yeah, I would imagine so. And can you give me any indication of what may have caused the slip down the stairs?
Yeah, I was wearing my dress shoes. I came in the house. I had to take my cat to the vet, and I was going in the basement to get him, and I was running a little late. My kids have always told me that the way I walked downstairs, or I used to walk downstairs, was very rushed. Shuffle. I'm a shuffler. My feet shuffle, and that's pretty much what happened. It was just a slip. I didn't even technically fall. I caught myself, but that's what tore the tendons.
Wow. So both feet like went out at the same
No,
time.
just the one. My right went out, and my left went back, and that's what
Oh,
was yeah.
oh my goodness. Okay, I can feel that pain.
Oh yeah.
I'm so happy for you that you're actually repaired and recovered. But thank you for
Almost.
sharing that and the detail. I just wanted to get a little bit more information on what caused the slip, because sometimes it can be a little thing like that makes a difference in how you actually play that story out. And so I'm gonna use this analogy that talking if you're at a networking event, or maybe it's something that you want to share on one of your social channels in relation to your work, talking about we never know when things are going to take us out of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And often we think of a website as a placeholder or something it is that we need to have in our business, just like a set of stairs. It's a structure. But there's, through my personal experience, having a slip and fall earlier this year when I was taking for granted what I thought was this stable support system under me. Slipped out when I was in a rush to get my cat from the basement to take the cat to the vet, and found out that what I thought was this stable structure of my own body was not actually in alignment with what I needed at the time, and ended up having this serious quad tear. And I think it's important to consider how your website might be the staircase of your business, but it's all of these other pieces of your digital marketing that actually make it work.
Mm-hmm.
And so the stability of the structure of your social media can't operate separately from the structure of your staircase, from your website, just like my body didn't connect properly with the stairs when I was trying to make that fast action. So I'm sure there's some other stories that I could dig out of that for you, but I think that's an interesting one that I just thought of in terms of, especially when you talked about you being a shuffler and being in a hurry. I think sometimes that's how people can also think about their approach to social media. Oh, I'm just going to throw something up there and see what happens. And if you don't have that kind of stable plan and that good underfooting, you're not going to be too successful. So again, I am so sorry for that happening to you. Thank you for sharing that, and I'm glad you're feeling better. It was so great to have you join today. We're a little bit past 5 o'clock. I hope that's okay with your schedule, Adrian. It was really a pleasure to have you here. And I do encourage you to check out Adrian's business at Numero Uno Web Solutions. Adrian, where can they find you to find out more about what you do?
Yeah, so the best way is just go online, website, Numero Uno Web, all one word, .com. You can also visit my YouTube channel. It's at Numero Uno Web. And you can always email me, a.newman@numerounoweb.com. I usually answer my emails pretty quick.
There we go. So numero uno is the number one thing that you need to do if you want to reach out and check with Adrian. So again, Adrian, thank you for joining me, and thank you for watching, whether you've been here live or whether you're watching this replay. Remember that stories really create these meaningful connections with your audience. It can help bridge an idea that you're trying to illustrate to them. It can actually, through science-backed data, it actually shows that we create these neural pathways in our minds when we share stories with people, and that can actually help you generate the trust that you need if you're looking to close a sale, if you're looking to connect with your audience in a presentation. So practicing storytelling from life moments like what we shared today can help you towards building that power story. Reach out to learn how story can help you change your sales success. And you can download a free story bio guided workshop to add to your personal story, adding personal storytelling to your marketing. So tell a story, change the conversation. Don't forget how important storytelling is to your business. And thank you again, Adrian, for joining today.
Thank you.